This is my surly big fat dummy. Soon I'll be touring with it. First I'll ride it from Northern California to San Diego. San Diego I'll change on to Maxxis Minion FBF and FBR Tubeless. I'm going to enter Baja on the Baja Divide route from San Diego. I plan to be off-road almost all the time in Baja. I have these Aerosun big smoothies for the road trip to San Diego. I plan to just ride them with tubes. I've got Whisky 100mm rims. I have very little tubeless experience. In this video I'm going to demonstrate my ability to install and remove the FBF and FBRs using only the tools I'm carrying. In Baja there are only a few bike shops and they are hundreds of miles apart. I must be self-reliant. First I'll remove the wheels. Now I'll remove my Aerosun Big Smoothie road tires. I want to remove tires from my Whisky rims without using tire levers. I had a set of Jumbo Jim tires on these rims. I couldn't get them off with just my hands. I was able to get them off using a C-clamp and a 2x4. I made two tools to remove tires. This is my tire grabber for grabbing onto the sidewall of the tire. This is my improved beam for restraining the rim. It has padding and should not slip. Now I'll get the tools in place. Now I'll give it a try. I got it. Now I'll repeat the procedure for the front tire. When I had these wheels built, I paid the professional bike shop to do the rim taping job for me. There's a lot of air bubbles, and some of them are quite thick. I think it's not really a great job. I'm going to try to do it. See if I can do a better job. I'm going to take this rim tape off and try to do that on my own. I got off to a bad start on this. The thing I really didn't do that great a job on the first rim, and I think I'm going to do it again because I think I have figured out what works on this, and that is keeping this spool, just jamming it between the rims, setting a short distance, and pressing it down. You don't need a lot of tension, but by doing that, by doing this, jamming it in, and then just pressing it down, just working a couple inches at a time. There's a few small bubbles there. Those aren't very significant. I had problems where before I started doing that, it would start running off, and if you try to correct for it getting off like only a millimeter, then you get these big diagonal wrinkles. And now I've got a method doing it this way. I don't get those really bad wrinkles at a diagonal. Installing the tubeless valves. The FBF brand new tire. This requires about all the strength I have if I'm going to get it on. Success. Thinking all this white crud that's on the tire goes all over the place. Might not be a good thing to have a lot of that in here. Now the first speed of the FBR.
That day, this rain made them just as crazy as it had made us, and the horses were just running and kicking. How I had learned to do, and that had to bode well for whatever lay ahead. Thank
you. 6 inches now. It worked, yay! That worked out good. So the FBR is done. This is my Lesign high volume pump that I'm probably going to take with me. I'm going to see what happens when I just try to pump the tire up without doing anything special. I've made this handle, which I think is highly worthwhile. It makes it a lot easier, and I don't know, I think it's a really good little add-on thing for the weight. Remove the valve core. It doesn't seem like that's working. I'm going to try this Schwalbe Tire Booster and a high pressure pump. See if that might work. My little Lesign high pressure pump. I made a handle for it too. It's incredibly hard to, when you get to 155 psi, it's very, very hard on your hand to use that handle. So I made this, works very well. We'll see how long it takes me to pressurize the tank. About 155 psi is about all I can do. It gets so that you're hardly putting in any more air each stroke. I think I'm at about 155 psi. I have a little experience with this thing before. I'm not going to bother looking at a gauge. It probably took me about 5 minutes to pressurize the tank. So see what happens using this. It could have been worse. I'm thinking if I do it another time, I should have it. Thankfully, it's only about 50 degrees in here. It's good temperature in this room for bike pumping. Okay, I'll give the FBR its second shot of air from the tank. I'm pretty happy to see that. It's 13 psi after 2 tanks. That's pretty good. It didn't leak. I really don't think it leaked a heck of a lot of air at all. Now I think I'll put the valve core in and just try pumping it up with the higher volume mini pump.
Most taxpayers in that income spectrum are.
I got the FBR to 15 psi in less than 2 minutes of pumping with a high volume pump. That was very encouraging. I think I'm gonna just let this tire sit and then see how I do with the FBF. Okay, I'll give it the first shot from the tank for the FBF tire. I just decided to try pumping it with this low volume pump, and no problem. It doesn't leak much, so this is probably easier than compressing it and then discharging it. So I'm pretty happy. One tank of air to just get it up against pretty close to the rim, and then I can just take over like this. Of course, the smarter thing to do is just change over to the high volume pump at the valve on the accumulator tank, and I can just easily finish it off. You have to jump up over anything. I think that's probably pretty close to maybe 15 psi. Even though I have the valve core removed there, I can keep it pressurized and check the pressure here at the valve on the tank. About 13.5 psi, that's fine. I'm really happy with the way things are going now. I've proved that I can put these on without tire levers, and I can inflate them with my tiny little pump and my tank there. And yeah, so I'm going to just take them. I'm going to just now just show that I can get them off and put my other tires back on. I'm looking forward to having my bike to ride again. Removing the FBF. I got this far and I really realized that my tools that I came up with they're just really crappy, and I need to find some elegant way to get tires off out in the field without heavy and bulky things, and so I've got this experiment that I want to try out.
Yourself, you have two lovely boys playing around us. What future do you imagine for them when they're your age?
Once. It was as if the cache or memory that I had was visualized an actual tree. It just seemed like the way that the information was then able to be organized in my head and incubated in chunks.
Institutes of Health in America had funded 140 grants to study LSD. 40,000 people have been studied. Since the drug was banned in 1960, gentle way, we might loosen up some of the traditional rigidity of the brain, which is, as I say, laid down over decades. And that might make the brain a bit more responsive to the challenges. It might make it a bit more creative.
That he has lied to the FBI. So if you tell the FBI director to go easy on someone, the president didn't commit obstruction of justice on the facts. We're going to argue over law enforcement because he is head of the executive branch. And Israel's 1982 invasion of its northern neighbor and an impressively sustained exercise in confinement. It unfolded entirely inside of definite blame to Mikhail for Jonathan's death.
It's our annual independent bookstore show, just in time for the holidays. The Finance Minister, Patrick Chinamasa, said the law requiring businesses to be a majority
Collection of photographs and writing, photographs with text that accompanies the photographs, and it's just one of the most
straight white men. So, and actually I got a lot of these recommendations from your...
the show. You can find more information at yourcallradio.org, and there you can also listen to past shows, and
I could find books that might be interesting in the upcoming year. And at some point I realized that the book was mostly men, and I thought, oh no, definitely.
publishers' catalogs, was it really that rare?
It was relatively, it was.
All multicultural books, a lot of paperbacks, a lot of things that are very affordable, they're very non-costly, and I was definitely into
A lot of in-store events in December because it gets so busy. We do have the owners of the State Bird Provisions restaurant coming in. They have a new cookbook out, and we're going to do a little happy hour with drinks and snacks with them next week.
I think Montana has a lot to say about that.
I also, one of my new favorites is by Gabourey Sidibe, the actor. Party's current largest parliamentary party is Donald Trump.
They've been doing it ever since about whether there was any kind of really illegal. You're listening to something that's being brought up a lot lately called the Logan Act, which is a very old statute, rarely used. Is that you're at 91.7 KARW, San Francisco.
And people had no answer. Why? Because they never thought about it. And then we pushed it, right? You would say, if I take Uber or Lyft, I don't have money for lunch. If I have a big lunch, I don't have money for dinner. The trade-offs will become very, very apparent very quickly. What?
20. And actually, like, the same area of the brain is activated, that is pain area. Like, imagine going on a vacation. This happened to us on our honeymoon. Pay for that meal while you're on a week-long vacation. We would spend less money.
Push a little bit more in and make it more financially efficient. And they can, but they really don't enjoy the process.
I'm a pretty happy camper now. I call this the ramp, the part that the tire slides on, and the tire bead. And this is a grabber. With the ramp and the grabber, I was able to remove the FBF tire from the rim, and I didn't need the beam, which is heavy and bulky.
And if you believe KLW enriches your life and the life of the Bay Area, why don't you consider donating stock?
Yeah, we used David Lang's. Is it just